Welcome to Behind the Sash. I'm Elise Hudson, the 2015 Newcastle Regional Showgirl. The Land Sydney Showgirl Competition aims to find a young woman to act as an ambassador for rural New South Wales, with her role involving many official and informal duties, both at the Sydney Royal Easter Show and during her travels interstate and overseas. For over 50 years, young women across the state have competed for this prestigious role. But the Showgirl competition is not a beauty pageant. Behind the pearls, makeup, pomp and ceremony are passionate young women with drive to benefit their local communities and rural New South Wales as a whole. Over the past couple of weeks, the zone finals for the Royal Easter Showgirl competition have been taking place. I'm very excited to acknowledge Gabriella Elder Robinson from the North Coast National Show Society and Ashley Olsen from the Warhope Show Society as having successfully won their way through the Zone 1 finals and will now be representing their respective shows at the Sydney final at the Royal Easter Show. This week, I'm very excited to also be interviewing another Royal Sydney Showgirl competition finalist, Camilla Macdonald, who's from the Quirindi Show Society. Hi, Millie. Thank you so much for coming.
No worries, it's a pleasure.
So you're from Quirindi. If I was to visit, what's the big highlights that I need to see?
Well, I think you definitely need to go up Who'd Have Thought It Lookout. It's such an amazing view. It gives a 360-degree, just amazing panoramic scenes of the Liverpool Plains on one side, and then on the other side you have the Great Dividing Range, which is a breathtaking view. It's an amazing spot to go and visit and really appreciate what great country we have in Quirindi. I think that's probably the highlight of Quirindi. However, they have just made a dam, which is pretty cool to go and see all the wildlife, and it brings a lot of the community together. It's involved a lot of the community and kickstarted that, which I'm very passionate about, but definitely the Who'd Have Thought It Lookout takes the cake.
Okay, so the natural environment's pretty special up there then.
Yeah, definitely.
So, speaking of bringing the community together, obviously the local show would have to be a big highlight in the community's calendar. What's your favourite thing to do at your local show?
Well, I've been to the show ever since I could even remember. I've ridden all the time, and I think probably it's just to walk around and appreciate all the different exhibits, appreciate the food, appreciate all the artwork. I just really like it, looking at all the different aspects of the show, not just the riding. I like to go and look at the artwork of the children, supporting local produce in the markets, and the Quirindi Show is definitely a big one in the calendar, and it's one that brings it's a one weekend where it brings the whole community together.
So that passion for the show, was that the driving force for you to enter Showgirl, or what drew you to come be part of this competition?
Before being asked to be a showgirl, I never really thought of myself as one, but I think I'm quite a yes person, and I really wanted to give back to the community. My grandmother was an extremely large individual in the community, and I felt that I needed to give back. And when I say give back, I just wanted to be an ambassador and really showcase how great our town is. But the Showgirl experience has been definitely an amazing one. It's been such a journey, and I hate to sound so cliche, but looking at what I've done from the local show until now is a big accomplishment. It's taught me various things. It's taught me how to be a grown-up, how silly that sounds, by making connections, calling people, organizing things, attending show meetings, sort of knowing how to behave in a meeting and take notes and make conversation. It's given me a lot of confidence as well, especially from doing well at Zone. It's taught me that people like me for who I am, and that I do have, and what I say is important and good for our area. I'm encouraging any young girls that I see to take part in the Showgirl Competition. I really think it's a fantastic movement, and I don't think it's outdated at all. And yeah, I'm just about so it's quite interesting. And when I say outdated, there is that stigma around it, but however, it's not what it seems.
You've talked a little bit about how you've grown and developed as by being the Quirindi Showgirl. If you were to go back in time and you met Millie before she entered Showgirl, what would you tell her? What's the one thing you'd say to her?
Just to be herself, really. I don't think you can be told that enough. And when people say it, you really don't. You think, oh no, I need to be this sort of made-up version of yourself, but you really just be yourself. It is the main thing. It is just the most important to be your natural, happy, bubbly self. Because I think the judges will be able to see, and other people, not just the judges, other people will be able to see sort of that no, it's not you. So definitely just to be yourself.
Yeah, too right. What surprised you the most about being part of the Showgirl movement?
I don't know. I never really thought about it actually, but probably that how not difficult it was, but what a ride it's been. It hasn't been easy. It wasn't just like I didn't take to it easy. I've had to work for it, I guess. But I've enjoyed working for it. It's been good to work towards something as like that. And just to how important it is to be an ambassador for how, like, the role of the ambassador as well, being a showgirl.
So, what would you suggest would be the biggest challenge that you've faced being the Quirindi Showgirl?
It's probably having to speak a little bit off the cuff and gathering my thoughts and making sure that I'm saying the right thing, or I think probably speaking off the cuff. I haven't really found any other problems. I think everyone's been quite welcome. Everyone who I've spoken to has been sort of made my job as the Quirindi Showgirl easy, so I found everything quite good. Recently one problem I found was in the Show Society meeting where a couple of the older ladies are not keen to give the show a bit more young life. So that's another little obstacle that I'm going to have to get over, but I'm sure I can work on that.
And when you're not being the showgirl and riding your horses in the Quirindi show, what do you do in your spare time?
I literally have no spare time. If I'm not riding, I'm doing my uni work, so...
What do you study at uni?
I'm doing a Bachelor of Primary Education, and I hope to do an honours in working with children with special needs.
Okay, so is the goal to become a full-time teacher in that area, or are you hoping to look at ways maybe you can integrate your love of horses in with that passion?
I actually have just thought about that the other day. I was talking to Mum about getting my riding for disabled certificate. No, I do want to be a full-time teacher, and I just think it's important to improve, especially for special needs children in the bush. They just need that little extra support, so I think I could be an asset to rural schools.
That's a fantastic thing to go off and do, and it's certainly something that will take a lot of strength and passion and drive, and I admire you very much for that. When we talk about showgirl, we have this stereotypical image, which I'm sure pops into your head straight away with the pearls and the dresses and the makeup, all of that. What's the least stereotypical thing about you? What's your little secret thing that you do that's so un-showgirl?
That I am the biggest unladylike person there is. The day before I went to Zone, I probably spent a good 4 hours at the local beautician in town. And she was appalled at my nails because I'm outside all the time, so she had to paint them and make them look nice. She was appalled at my hands because I've got calluses on them. And she had to wax my legs. I'm the biggest unladylike person there is.
Oh, man, you make me sound like I'm a delicate flower. I had my first manicure ever thanks to Showgirl. But it's so funny, isn't it, that we have this idea about the stereotypical showgirl, and yet she'd never be able to work in rural industries, really, that image of the polished...
Exactly.
She,
Exactly.
she'd,
No
she'd
way
break a nail on a fence post and she'd be done.
I know she would. She'd say no, and I'm over this now.
Yeah.
I recently went to a personal development course with Daly Watkins, who taught me a lot about about image and behaving correctly, and I'm sure she would disapprove greatly of some of the things that I just said.
Was that in addition to going to the Dubbo Showgirl Development Day?
June actually donated a week's course with her as one of the prizes for winning the Quirindi Showgirl.
Oh, no wonder the Quirindi Showgirls are so polished and stunningly mannered. That's so unfair. I'm so jealous. Daly Watkins is amazing.
She is the most amazing lady. 92 and still catches the bus and train to work every single day.
Wow. So is she a local up at Quirindi? Is that her connection?
She grew up in Benjamin, so just outside of Tamworth. So she doesn't live here, but
she's from the area and has a special connection.
The Quirindi area is very dear to her, she said. So that's why she donated the prize. I
see. Well, that's lovely and lucky for you. Obviously, it's paid off with your victory through the Zone 4 final.
Well, I did think of her the whole time I was in my interview, because in my interview I was asked what Australian woman most inspires you, and I started off by saying Julia Gillard, just because she's such an important person in women's leadership, and then I said, actually, Daly Watkins definitely inspires me. She literally came from nothing. And she taught me one thing that I did take away from her course was that it is so important. First impressions are everything.
So could you tell me a little bit more about at Zone? What do you think was the biggest challenge at Zone? What was your hardest section in your opinion?
Definitely the lunch. That's when the claws came out. Everyone was talking over each other, and it was just really hard to sort of stick to your guns and pull back and just really focus on yourself, because lots of the girls were talking over each other, trying to get the judges' attention. It was just, I found it quite sort of tiring in a way, quite draining. That was definitely probably the hardest. That was probably my hardest thing that I had to deal with at Zone. The speaking on the onstage interview wasn't too bad. I felt quite confident, even maybe that was helped by the couple of wines I had before.
Got some liquid courage there, did you, Millie?
Yeah. Well, not that many. Mum didn't let me. She kept making me drink water. But, I didn't find that as hard as I thought I was going to be, mate. And that was because we were very lucky enough to know the questions before we got on stage, so.
I think that helped a lot at Zone for all the girls, in my experience, the same.
Yeah.
The compere said, what do you want to talk about? And we just went, this bit.
Yeah. Well, he had already, pre-written our questions. I wanted, lots of the other girls, got all these questions, and I was like, oh, that'd be so easy. But anyway, I was quite happy with mine, and I think I did well, and...
You obviously did well. You won.
Yeah, well, that was probably, but definitely that was probably the hardest thing.
I remember Ellie was saying at our Dubbo deportment course that it's a really big shame that it's a competition and that the focus is on winning. From my experience, she's right.
Yeah, definitely. No, she's so right, and I can understand why she said some of the girls at Sydney just get so sort of feisty and driven and don't enjoy the experience. So I had to really, and I'm someone that hates sort of not talking, so I had to sort of really bite my tongue and just wait until they spoke to me. So, which was
obviously
tricky.
It works. So one more question, Millie. Is there anything else you'd like people to know about you or Quirindi or the showgirl movement in general that you'd like to leave us with?
That the showgirl movement is definitely an amazing movement. I don't think it's outdated. I think it's a fantastic thing for young girls to do for their development. Well, am I a young girl? But I think it's really important for them. A lot of personal development, which I definitely think I've gone through. The Quirindi area is an amazing spot. It's a fantastic place to raise a family, and yeah, I'm very privileged to have grown up there. So.
Well, thank you very much, Millie, for your time, and all the best at Sydney. I look forward to coming down and seeing the final.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope you just really enjoy the experience and you just have a wonderful time.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on Behind the Sash.